I had a different video planned for today, but I just was really wanting to do, I felt really inspired by 21 Pilots' last music video that they just uploaded like 2 days ago. So I was gonna draw a picture that's inspired by that and kind of talk about them in that video. So just gonna scooch you back and put you down here so you can see somewhat. So okay, I'm actually thinking about maybe drawing in the smaller journal because this is not the most space. Okay, I try to only draw in this journal when I'm like sitting at my table, but because I get frustrated when I don't have enough space. So I'm just gonna draw in the smaller journal because I want to just have this be a more casual video. I'll do it next to my Perry the Platypus picture. Okay, so if you're a 21 Pilots fan, I'm sure you already are well aware of their music video for Drag Path that just came out like 2 days ago, I think. I thought it was so super cool. Actually, it's distracting because I keep seeing the pumpkin, so I was gonna draw it's not gonna look like amazing, but kind of like the bunny from the video, looking up at the moon and like the wolf behind him. Okay, I just flipped to the back of the book because I need to just get to it. Okay, so I thought the video was a pretty cool like culmination of like the storyline. I will caveat this by saying like I was really into 21 Pilots like in the beginning, like their Vessel, Blurry Face, and then this is actually a shirt from the Trench album. But then I kind of got busy and didn't stay like as intricately involved in keeping up with everything with their newer albums. So there was Scaled and Icy, Clancy, and then Breach. Is it just me or did they happen? Like I feel like they all happened so fast. Or maybe it's just that I'm getting old. But I feel like they just happened so fast and I couldn't keep up with like all the songs and everything. But I did like, so I have a picture of the bunny to kind of have as a reference. So, okay, let me say, for those that don't know, I've talked about 21 Pilots on this channel before, and how they're a band that I've really enjoyed their music, and their lyrics and everything have resonated with me in the past. And so they like, released their last album, at least like last to the storyline of what they've been working on for years. But then they just uploaded this music video to the song Drag Path, and it's like a stop motion video that was actually made like 15 years ago, and they bought the rights to it. So everybody's like assuming like this must have been something that Tyler saw back then, all that many years ago, and it inspired his music in a huge part. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's so awesome to like get that glimpse kind of into his mind and into some of what like inspired him. And yeah, I feel like it sums up, even though I haven't been like intricately involved in every little detail. There was like a day that I sat down with my sister and she showed me more of the music videos following the storyline of like Dima and Nico and the Niners and Clancy and all that. And I feel like his music has carried the same message since like the very beginning. And I feel like I'm probably gonna say I feel like a lot. When you look back at like some of his like earliest songs and you look through like these latest albums through that lens, like it helps make things makes sense of the message of things, you know, which I'm probably gonna title this like kind of have a pun. I like a good pun. You can tell by my channel name. Drag Path is crystal clear or something like that, because there's a song that Tyler Joseph wrote from one of his earlier album. The earliest was their album that was literally just titled 21 Pilots. But then after that they had an album named Regional at Best, which I don't think it was officially released. The album that got officially released after that was Vessel, and some of the Regional at Best songs ended up in Vessel, but not all of them. And the one of the songs that didn't end up in Vessel is Clear, and it kind of gives you a glimpse as to like Joseph's like where his heart at is in his music and what he's trying to portray. Or yeah, I can read those lyrics in a minute. And not just that song, but there's so many. Like if I wanted to like really take the time, I could make like a 2-hour video like going into each and every crevice of all his songs and lyrics and everything. All of the songs from Regional at Best are so good. Like, I Also Fight Love's Birds, Car Torch, A Death, Oh Misbeliever, Be Concerned, and they all have a lot to do with like his faith and struggles with it, which I feel like really resonated with me at the time that I started listening to his music, because I was like really struggling with doubts in my faith. And if you want to know more about my testimony, I can like link a video below where I talk more about my testimony, faith journey testimony. But yeah, he just is very honest and raw in his songs and in his struggles. But I feel like he's found through his, you know, music and crying out to God and all that, like he has the answer. And I feel like that's where that's what like his goal is with his music and this storyline that this whole world and storyline that him and Josh have built, is to like share about who God is. Okay, so I was gonna do like the bunny looking up at the moon, like smiling, because there's a lyric. So let me read the lyrics of Drag Path first, and then I'm gonna read the lyrics of Clear. I should have just screenshotted them, but I didn't. Okay, Drag Path, and I apologize, my nails are looking crusty. I always forget that I need to do them until it's time to film something, and then it takes me like an hour to do them, so I just didn't want to wait another hour to make this video, because I wanted to make it while the ideas were still rolling in my brain. So there's a version of the song Drag Path that they made specifically for those who like bought it when it first came out, and then they like remade it a little bit into a different version that they release for everybody. I'm gonna read the lyrics that are like from the music video. So it says, when I see the devil's eyes, I'll look away and smile wide. You found me. Then I'll know you're also there, 'cause proof is in the adversary. You found me. A drag path etched in the surface as evidence I left there on purpose. A sad sack laying on the surface. Can you find me? When I see the devil's face. When I see the devil's eyes, a current travels down my spine. You found me. A drag path etched in the surface as evidence I left there on purpose. A sad sack laying on the surface. Can you find me? I dug my heels into the gravel as evidence for you to unravel. A drag path etched in the surface. Can you find me? Can you? And then it just repeats. And yeah. So, and I can link the video below if you haven't seen it yet, of the music video with the stop motion bunny. So yeah, you can watch it and see, but I feel like it is about, so it's like a rabbit with his family sitting down at a table, like talking about memories and stuff. It looks like they're going through like a photo album, and then there's this wolf, and so they're like in the forest at night, and this wolf comes and attacks them, and pretty much like it appears that he like kills his family, which is really sad. And then he's running from the wolf, and a hand, when it seems like all hope is lost, there's a hand that comes out of the moon that reaches down and grabs the rabbit, and then he pulls him up, and then as he's like pulling him into the moon, then the scene changes to like him being pulled out of a hat, and there's like an audience. So at least what I understand from that is that, because he talks about you found me, so I think there's dual meaning in the you found me. Because I think he's talking about, so the wolf I think represents, for Tyler Joseph, represents Satan. He says, when I see the devil's eyes, I'll look away and smile wide. You found me. So I think he's saying like to the enemy, to like Satan, you found me. But then on the flip side, he says, then I'll know you're also there, because proof is in the adversary. So who's talking about there is God. He knows that God is also there. The proof is in the adversary, like adversary, the enemy, Satan. As Christians, we know like often the enemy attacks those who are, you know, God's children and trying to live for God, and he's kind of saying like the proof is in the fact that I'm being attacked by Satan. There's, oh, what song is it? There's a song where he says, I have to look it up. Let me look it up. Okay, sorry, that took a minute because my phone's being slow, but it's an ode to sleep. He's saying, he says, but I'll tell them, why won't you let me go? Do I threaten all your plans? I'm insignificant. Please tell them you have no plans for me. I will set my soul on fire. What have I become? That's like just a snippet, but he's talking about like the verses prior. He's talking about kicking the voices out of his head, like the demons. They're yelling things. They told me I was gone, and he's like, telling the demons, like, do I threaten all your plans? And then he's telling God, like, please tell them I'm insignificant, you don't have plans for me. So it's like that idea of, like, as a Christian, if you're trying to live for God, like, the enemy's gonna, the enemy and all his little minions, the demons, are gonna attack, like, wanna attack us. So, anyways, I felt like that connected to the idea of the evidence is in the adversary. So because this wolf is after him, he knows also that God is there, and he has learned that... Okay, my phone's officially glitching out, so I can't look at the lyrics, but I just, from what it sounds like, he's saying he'll smile because he knows, like, yes, the enemy's there, but so is God, and he's got him. And I think in the video it's a beautiful picture of, like, you know, this hand reaching down, saving the bunny. It's, like, symbolic of, like, how Tyler, talks about how, you know, God has saved him. Not just from the grip of the enemy, but from his own self. It talks about, so there's so many things. It's hard to, like, keep my brain focused. So I think it's Nico, in one of the Trench music videos that you see, like, Nico dragging Tyler, and it's, like, I think representative of, like, it's the enemy, you know, being dragged by the enemy. And so there's, like, a drag path because he's being dragged along, but then on the flip side there's, like, God saves him, and there's a drag path that you can follow. And the song talks about, like, this path I left there on purpose so you'd find me again. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is, I think the other meaning to the drag path is, like, it's a path that we can, like, look back and see, like, how he made it out of quote-unquote Dima. So which I feel like the storyline has kind of been this overarching theme of, like, what that ultimately we need someone else to get us out of Dima. Because I think in the City Walls music video, like, you know, they were relying on, like, Tyler as Clancy to be the one to get them out, but then he, like, turned into one of the bishops and all that. And I don't know, I think it's just that idea that we need someone else, and that someone else is Jesus. And yeah, so I'm really struggling with this wolf right now. I was gonna try to, in the video he has these, like, ears that stick up and his, like, mouth is very pointy, but I wanted to make him kind of scary. But I'm not. He looks like a little rat. I don't know what's happening with that. I was gonna try to draw, like, a hand coming out of the moon, but it's been a long time since I drew a hand. I'm trying to, like, trace my own. How do you draw a wolf? it makes me think of, there's a song called Friend Please that he wrote, which it kind of makes me think, see, like all these songs, there's always like lyrics that give light to other lyrics. Oh, I forgot where this train of thought was going. Oh, there's a song he wrote called Friend Please, and it's pretty much a plea to like his friend, which I'm assuming could be like anybody, his fans, anybody, to not choose to end their life. And in the beginning of it, he says, "You've denied that you need someone to exterminate your bones." And then, as you know, in Heavy Dirty Soul is the infamous line, "Death inspires me like a dog inspires a rabbit," which obviously is like such a connection to this video. And in that song, he says a lot of things. "Can you save my heavy dirty soul?" He repeats that a bunch, and then, well, that's like the chorus or whatever you call it. "Nah, I didn't understand a thing you said. If I didn't know better, I'd guess you're all already dead. Mindless zombies walking around with a limp and a hunch, saying stuff like, you only live once. You've got one time to figure it out, one time to twist, one time to shout, one time to think, and I say we start now. Sing it with me if you know what I'm talking about." And I think that also connects to Holding On To You, where he talks about, he says, "Lean with it, rock with it. When are we gonna stop with the lyrics that mean nothing? Is it time to move our feet to an introspective beat?" Let me look that up really quick. But I feel like in these lyrics, he's trying to tell us, like, hey, like, stop being mindless, like, take time to think. Why are we here? And I think that's in the song Clear, which I'll get to in a second. So, sorry I'm not really drawing. Yeah, he says, "Lean with it, rock with it, when we're gonna stop with it. Lyrics that mean nothing. We were gifted with thought. Is it time to move our feet to an introspective beat? It's not the speaker that bumps hearts, it's our hearts that make the beat." And then, okay, here's Clear. This one I love, is it ties things together and it's more clear. LOL, pun intended. Why do I say LOL? I don't know. Okay. So, it starts. "I wish that I had two faces to prove which theory works. Yelling on the street corner or cleverly masking your words." Which I feel like says it right there, like, what Joseph's intentions are with his lyrics and with his music. And I'll just keep going. "I take my face off at the door because I don't know who they will take me for. I wonder if I tell them what I did last night, whether or not I got caught. They just might wage war on you. Therefore, it's true that I shot my general on my side of enemy lines." So I think this is Tyler saying, he's thinking, you know, maybe are they gonna judge him? He's like, I don't know who they'll take me for. And when he says, "I wonder if I tell him what I did last night," if it's like something like related to serving God or something. I wonder, I don't know. And then I think like that I shot my general on my side of enemy lines, I think can allude to maybe denying God and his work in his life or something along those lines. And then he says, "I'm the son of all I've done, I'm the son of all I've done. Imposter, been fostered. Then my new father drained my dirty blood," which I feel like is such a tie back to Heavy Dirty Soul, because he's saying, like, can you save me? Can you save my heavy dirty soul? And then he's saying, "My new father drained my dirty blood," which we know is God the Father. Yeah. God sent Jesus to die on the cross to drain our dirty blood, to make us anew and without sin, blemish free, so that we don't have to be in the grasp of the enemy, but we can live for God, with a new purpose and led by him and not the enemy. Then he goes on, "I'm not trying to be lying to you, but it takes a clever guy to do what I do. It takes some chivalry and well-placed energy to subliminally get yourself inside you. Introspection is the name of this session. Spread this infection, reflect it on the next one, the next one, the next one, and And when we're done, we all have made something new under the sun. I'm not done yet. No, kick me off the stage and take my microphone. Then you'll walk up to me, and when you get close, I'll look you in the face and say, where's your home? Where are you going? And why are you here? Have you asked these questions? Have you been sincere? Want to know what I believe? It's right here. Dig a little deeper and it's crystal clear. So again, he's like trying to get his audience to question where they came from, like, what are your beliefs? And here's my beliefs, but just dig a little deeper and it's right here. And then at the end of it, he says, I will tell you what I can, but your mind will take a stand. I sing of a greater love. Let me know when you've had enough. And then he repeats that. I will tell you what I can, but your mind will take a stand. I sing of a greater love. Let me know when you've had enough. So it's like he's very cautious with how to portray the gospel to his fans. And like in that song, he says, you know, which is the better method? I wish I could like play it out and see which one works better. You know, he says, I wish I had two faces to see which one works better, yelling on street corners or cleverly masking your words. You know, there's like the method of just preaching on street corners about Jesus and the gospel, or what his approach has been, which is having it like intertwined in his lyrics to help draw people, and hopefully that they get it and understand it before pushing him away by, because at the end of it, and he's saying, I sing of a greater love, I tell of a greater love, but your mind will take a stand. It's like the general public gets defensive when religion is brought up, or, you know, when God is brought into the conversation. So he's instead taken a different approach and made this whole storyline and this whole world to explain how to point to how we can ultimately escape Dima. Being, you know, the battle with the enemy, the battle within our own minds, within our own desires, this cycle of ending up in these habitual unhealthy habits and just not knowing how to get out of that. And ultimately, Jesus is the one trying to draw my own hand. The only one who can drain our dirty blood. And if you're questioning if Tyler really even believes in Jesus, if it hasn't been evident enough through like all his lyrics, which I'm sure for those that have done like deep dives, there have maybe even been like hidden Easter eggs that point more to the gospel in ways that I haven't caught on to because I'm not with every detail of the storyline at the moment. So if you know more than me, you can like share in the comments and stuff. But there is a song that I came across years ago that I think I shared it as a post for like Easter last year. Where Tyler sings, I think it's called Lord of Glory. There's several different songs though. And the lyrics are, oh, let your roots of love wrestle me, tangle me. God, I'd hate to really lose a fight, but not this time, it's alright. Oh, let your roots of love wrestle me, tangle me. God, I'd hate to really lose a fight, but not this time, it's alright. I feel your energy work in me, building me. Now I've got a new identity. It looks like me, but it's unseen. That scared me. I hate when you're like on these lyric websites and they keep like jumping around and I can't even take a screenshot of it because my phone's not working. But he says, Jesus, you are the Lord of glory. Jesus, you are the Lord of glory. I hear your call. Raise the gate, lift me up. You took away the veil from me. There's so much light. It's so bright. Jesus, you are the Lord of glory. You're the light that is burning. 20. Anyways, the more you dive into it, the more you see Tyler's beliefs as a Christian, and that's just interwoven into all his music, and that's what he's, yeah. So I feel like at the end of the Drag Path Rabbit video, when he's pulled out of the hat, it's almost like a symbol of like God saving him, but also, and now he's like showing him to the world as an example. I've been saved. Look at me and look at my drag path and see like you can be saved as well by the hand of God. I think I'm gonna make the wolf look like my own thing, like pointy ears maybe. And like pointy teeth. And the bunny is smiling because even though the enemy's after him, he's the hand of God has it. And the Bible talks all the time about how like the hand of God, like, God, you hold me by your righteous right hand and you keep me from slipping, and I will not be taken from your grasp. I really feel like in the book of Psalms, like David's writings almost are very like Tyler's writings kind of echo the heart of David, I feel like, in that he was very raw and honest with God and his struggles, and he didn't like sugarcoat the struggles. I had a friend at one time say, like, in the past when I was very like just listening to 21 Pilots 24/7 because I was struggling, and I felt like it was the one thing that helped me feel not alone and was struggling in my faith. And I could see in like the lyrics that like so was Tyler, but he wasn't giving up. And I remember her being like, you shouldn't be listening to that because it's gonna take away like your love or reverence for God, which I don't know, at least from what I know about God, is that he wants your honesty. He wants your heart, your whatever it is you're feeling, like he wants that, because he can take that and use it. But if you don't give him anything, if you don't let him in, you know, he can't do anything with that. And we have that free will. He's not gonna like force himself on us, but I'm just adding my own little things to this picture. So I just want to encourage you, if you're in a season where you're like really struggling, maybe you are a Christian and you're just really struggling in your faith right now, or maybe you're not and you're just struggling in general with life, and maybe you don't believe in God, or maybe you have considered he might be real, but you're just like, if he is real, then he makes no sense and he doesn't seem loving. Because I think we all struggle with that. I think that's a common struggle, to not understand like how God's love works in conjunction with the reality of the way the world is. But I believe that you know, if you let him know, he can make himself known and help you see that it's actually, you know, give you the answers. Like in Psalms, I was reading, I think it was Psalm 73, where David's like feeling like there's no justice. He's like, how can you let this be? You know, how do you let the wicked go unpunished and all these things? And then later in the passage, he's like, actually, now it makes sense. Like, I understand there will be an end to everything and to everyone, and the end of the wicked is not going to be a pretty sight for them. And like, he will bring justice. And he reflects back and he's like, yeah, when I didn't understand, I was stupid and acting like a brainless animal towards you. Which I love David's honesty with that. But it's also very relatable in that, you know, I've had seasons where I was just straight up angry at God, but I let him know. I feel like it's better to let him know than to just deal with it on your own and try to deal with it on your own, because he is a good father. And I've talked before on my channel about the fact that, like, yes, suffering happens either from the effects of this. When I say the word sin, I just mean like the things that go against God's love. It's either the suffering that happens in the world, or to us, is either an effect of our own sin, of others' sins, or of just the general curse of sin on creation. And one day he will restore all of creation so that it won't have the curse of sin, and he will bring complete judgment and justice to all things. And when that judgment day comes, he will bring all things into judgment, which means like even everything that we've ever done wrong. Like, he will bring justice to all the ways that we've been wronged, but he is fair in that he doesn't give a pass to anyone or anything. He brings justice in all areas. And so that's why we need Jesus, because none of us would withstand that day of judgment apart from Jesus' payment for our sins. So that's how his love and justice can coincide, is that he brought Jesus to pay the price for our sins so that his character would remain the same, he would remain just, but that he could continue to love us and we could live with him forever in eternity as his children, like he intended. But only because we've been bought by the blood of Jesus, and all the things that wrong that we ever did has been paid for on the cross. But we have to accept that free gift, just like with any gift. You have to accept it to be able to enjoy the gift. And so yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. To accept. like with any relationship. This isn't the most amazing portrayal of let me better outline the things. But yeah, I don't know, I really hope this is making sense, because I know it's a little bit all over the place what I'm saying. You know, it's like a question we all have to ask ourselves, like Tyler Joseph said. Where did you come from? Where is home? Where are you going? Why are you here? So I drew a much better, more realistic hand in the past, and I was going to show you the picture which I showed in a previous video where I was showing all of my art from over the years. And this picture was one I drew when I really overcame the struggles of doubt and depression and things like that in my life. And God, I really felt His hand saving me, and it reminded me of that hand coming out of the moon in the video. I talked before about how Tyler Joseph inspired me to like do art and poetry. There was like an interview or something he was in where he was talking about how sometimes it's just like about getting from point A to point B, and sometimes, you know, you just need to get a journal out and just start writing to just get the thoughts out, because when you're in a really dark place you just need something to get you from point A to point B. And I feel like I talk about this all the time on my channel, but like journaling is so helpful in just getting things out. And I have like all these really dark things that I would write about or draw. But I came through that on the other side and I got inspired, and this was in 2018. So it's the hand of Jesus holding on to mine, and it says, "Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for He who promised is faithful," and that's found in Hebrews 10:23. And it just feels so similar, like what Tyler kind of says in and through his lyrics is like there's this battle with sin, and it puts us in this cycle that's never ending, but like Jesus is the answer. He's the one who can literally take us out of that and break that cycle and make us a new creation. And so yeah, give us new purpose and all that. And He who promised is faithful. I feel like Tyler would agree with that. That even in the midst of the struggles and the doubts, like the doubts and the struggles wasn't because of his and falling short, but because of our own. And He has proven Himself to be so faithful and so loving, and not that He even needs to prove that, but He ultimately proved in biggest way ever by sending Jesus and dying a horrible death on the cross for us. But God demonstrated his love for us in that while we were sinners, while we were acting in rebellion against him, he died for us. It's just mind-blowing love and patience and grace and mercy for us. And so yeah, he's the answer. He is faithful. He has found me, and he can find you too. He found Tyler and many others, and the friends who I bring on this channel, they can testify of it too in their life, which I plan to have tomorrow. Will be the video that I'm gonna have my friend Brian talk about some of his art. So I already filmed it. It's a pretty quick one. He just like shows his art and talks about like what inspired him to paint each painting. It's usually like a verse or something personal that relates to him. So now I'm going on a tangent. That'll be tomorrow's video. I'm just saying all that to say, like, there are many of us out there that can testify to that being true, that he is faithful and loving. What is that? There's a song. All these lyrics keep popping in my head. There's a song where he talks about like, I can tell you why you stay awake at night. What song is that? I just get this overall message from him that he's trying to get his fans to think for themselves and ask the important life questions that we all need to be asking. And he's like, don't numb your mind out. Like, let those questions, like, give them room to be there so that you can find the truth. And if you want to say, well, truth can't be known, you can't actually live life according to that concept, because the very laws of logic dictate that truth has to be known. Because if you're saying truth can't be known, well then how do you know that that's true? Do you follow? It's a self-defeating statement. There is truth and it can be known because God made it that way so that we would find him. And that's why I got really big into apologetics too, which is the defense of the Christian faith, and seeing that we have a lot of historical and scientific evidence and philosophical evidence, which I get a little bit into that in my testimony video. But yeah, as to why the God of the Bible is the one who has made himself known in the person of Jesus Christ, and that we have all these manuscripts and historical evidence that suggest he really was here and he really did die and rise again, and he was who he said he was, which is the Son of God who came to die for the sins of the world. I don't know how ridiculous this looks, but it's supposed to be like... I had jotted down some notes, but I don't know if I even... In Ode to Sleep, he also talks about, like, he says he's afraid to tell you who I adore or tell you who I'm singing towards. So, I don't know, I was thinking that was just something that jumped out at me, that, like, because I've seen a lot of comments in other videos of, like, people saying, like, it's up to art. Like, his music is meant to be up to our interpretation. But I think he's made it very clear who he's singing about. But that he has either struggled with struggled in the past with making it clear who he's singing about, but I think it also was him purposefully, like he says in Clear, kind of masking his words in a way to help draw people so that they're not just like instantly turned off, but to like bring them into the message without it just being like fire and brimstone preached at them on a street corner, you know? Should I color it in? Which green? I'm thinking maybe this one. So this is gonna probably look like daytime because I'm putting color and it's very like dark in the video, but that's okay. I'm doing my own thing. My leg is falling asleep.
I agree, yeah.
I think I'm just gonna do a quick color in and then end the video. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I know I can get kind of intense. I get like super passionate about this topic, and like I've mentioned, my faith in God is like the most important thing to me. But then also like 21 Pilots over the years has made such an impact in my life, and so I get a little bit excited about about them and their music. I have a theory that like so when I was like looking back at some of their older songs, I was looking at Ruby, which is a really sweet song that he said that he wrote about a girl with Down syndrome from his church, and he said in the interview from him and Josh's church. And so I was wondering if that's how they met was at church, and maybe that's why whenever interviewers would ask them how did y'all meet, they would always come up with like a silly story, because maybe they just didn't even want to bring that up into the conversation. I used to love like just watching all their interviews and seeing like the nonsensical stories they would come up with about how they met. It would crack me up. Do a different green for the trees. I think obviously there are parts of the song that can be left up into like obviously there's a lot of it that can be left up to interpretation. But I think the overall theme, the overall like storyline and the message it's conveying is the gospel. But yeah, we know like Tyler, because I think that he has mentioned like in kitchen sink, he says like a kitchen sink to me is not a kitchen sink to you, and he talks about, you know, finding meaning in things, finding your own meaning in things, but which I feel like this music video that he probably found 15 years ago, he put his own meaning into it, and I was using it to convey the gospel. Just saying. I don't know. Just saying. So he had this, I don't know specifically what the bunny was wearing, but I think he had like something like that. I don't think I'm gonna color this completely in now that I think about it. I'm sure there's a lot more videos out there that's like a deeper dive into all the things, but this is just my thoughts on my initial thoughts right off the bat after seeing the video and being a longtime fan of theirs. I thought about chlorine as well, how like he talks about this beat is a chemical. So I don't know if this is actually accurate or not. This is one of those things I feel like could be interpretation. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but in because he talks about like how I've mentioned in Holding On To You and a couple others, like how he's trying to get us to think and not not to just live mindlessly, like mindless zombies, and just grew into the beat like nothing matters. And he's talking about this beat is a chemical in chlorine. And so I wonder, and in the music video you have that Ned that's like just embracing the chlorine, swimming in it, just thriving in it, jumping in it. And then at the very end of the video, Tyler gives him a cup. They're at the bottom of the pool. The pool's been completely drained of all the chlorine water. And then Tyler gives him a cup, and then Ned goes to drink it, and he's like, ugh. It makes me wonder if that's like him saying, like, you know, all the fans, they'll eat up all of the beats that are kind of mindless zombie type beats, but when it comes to the true living water, Jesus, and him offering that, you know, the general response maybe he feels is like, ugh, just that like fear he's talked about in other songs, like, will they turn against me? And think, ew, ick, you know, I don't know, that's just something I've thought about with regards to the song Chlorine. Twinkle stars. I think I'm gonna need, it's a lot of silver. Probably will need black. Actually, for the little vest thing that the bunny is wearing, but I think his bow tie is like white. And then I'll give him like a little pink nose just for fun. And that wolf is like very dark. Maybe I'll give the wolf a pink nose too. Okay. And then I'm gonna give him a red bow tie just because I feel like it needs color. And then his eyebrows were dark. And I need
I
gray.
will, I may have feel like 5 minutes, but I'll join you if you want to.
color his little ears, and now I'm feeling like I should outline the whole picture. What was I gonna color this with? This is by no means, like, I know the grass is very streaky, it's not blended very well to the blue sky. I'm gonna do a dark, well, it's not necessarily dark, but it's not dark at all, actually. That's okay. I think I'm regretting coloring this, maybe. So it's like a daytime version of what happens in the music video. Wait, I feel like it might look slightly better if I outline it with the micron pen that I have. I have this sticker. Okay. Anyways, I hope this video was somewhat fun for the 21 Pilot lovers out there. And
no.
let me know your thoughts, because I'm curious. I think it's cool how they ended the story. I saw like a snippet of some interview where Tyler was saying like, yeah, him and Josh will probably keep playing music, but the story has come to an end. He believes every good thing has an end. So, and I think they've tied it up pretty well.
Be quiet.
Yeah, my husband's over there playing some games, so. I love how his eyebrows are just these like black rectangles. I hope it looks like he's smiling, because that's what I was trying to go for. Maybe I should color in the rest of his mouth black. maybe I won't outline everything, maybe just like the bunny, the hand, the wolf. Did I explain? See, I went so many places, I don't know if my thought on like the beginning of it, of like the wolf coming and attacking, I think it's like maybe symbolic, could be symbolic from Tyler's point of view of just like whatever trials, things that just go wrong, whatever ways the enemy might attack. That could cause us to run from God. Death inspires me like a dog inspires a rabbit. I feel like that lyric always made me think of just the fact that like when you take time to reflect on the reality that we all do die one day, it kind of inspires you to take seriously those questions of where did I come from and where am I going? And not push them off another day because we all aren't promised tomorrow. Okay. Here's my happy-go-lucky looking version of the music video. He's like, I've already been through this. God's got me. I don't need to worry about the wolf. So, okay. I hope you enjoyed and got something out of it, and
No, that's Igor.
hopefully it wasn't just too chaotic to follow, but let me know your thoughts, or if this was confusing, if you have questions or something, let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next video, hopefully. Bye.